Today I'm going to talk about my top 10 black metal albums of 2023, but let me first preface this by saying that I am new to the black metal genre of metal music. When I first started listening to heavier music, I began with typical normie bands like Metallica and Iron Maiden. I didn't delve into some of the more extreme forms of metal until about 7 or 8 years ago when I got into death metal. However, I had a hard time getting into black metal at that time, and even now, sometimes I encounter black metal albums that sound very loud to me, or I just can't get into them. For example, there was an album recently released by the band Panopticon that a lot of people were raving about, but when I listened to it, I just couldn't get into it. So that one's not going to be on my list, but I did compile 10 albums that I have reviewed in some capacity over the past year that I did like. Keep in mind that many of these bands are popular black metal bands, and I'll also include some variations of the black metal genre, such as Black in the Thrash or Black in the Sludge. I'm using the Metal Archives website as a guide for this. So let me get into my list. I have 10. I'll try to go through these quickly so I don't talk too much. So let's get into it. Coming in at number 10 is Dohe Guard, a Black Medium Current. This album received a lot of praise when it came out. Many channels were raving about it, so I gave it a listen back then, and I liked it. I actually listed it as my best album of the month when it was released. However, I never really went back to it much until I listened to it again in preparation for this ranking video. I felt it was good enough to make this list, but not exceptional enough to be like in the top 5 or higher up. It's black metal, but it incorporates a lot of different elements. It's very progressive, psychedelic, it's trippy, there's a lot going on. However, when I listened to it again, it didn't have the replay value I initially thought it would. So for that reason, I have it at number 10. It's still good, but not as great as I initially thought it would be. At number 9 is Cloak with Black Flame Eternal. This is an album that I discovered through the Green Man channel. I remember him doing a review of this. I listed it in my best metal albums of May video, and it came in at number 12. So back then I didn't do a full review, but I revisited this album and I thought it was pretty good. This is straightforward black metal with lots of tremolo picking and blast beats. However, they also incorporate some clean guitars and other sounds that make them stand out from a typical black metal band. I particularly like the song Shadowlands. It goes through different emotions with heavy and melodic parts. I also enjoyed the song Invictus that has a nice balance of heavy and light sounds. Overall, it was a pretty decent album. At number 8, I have Thandra with Hail the Abyss. It's a band I discovered through Hammerheart Metal Reviews. They are a melodic black metal band. I've heard a lot of people compare them to the band Dissection. So it's black metal. It's a little easier to digest. Still features heavy black metal vocals and blast beats, and also incorporates atmospheric background noises, lower melodic breakdowns, and softer, beautiful guitar melodies. I like the title track called Hail the Abyss. And this includes some typical black metal tremolo picking and includes cool vocals. However, the other songs are a little different, like Velvet Damnation. This had some guitar parts that even reminded me of Iron Maiden. I didn't do a full review of this, but it was number 10 on my best albums of May video, so for that reason I have it here. And number 7 is Uada with Crespúculo Natura. The band I discovered by chance. It was released on September 8th, 2023. Part of my short review video. I liked it a lot. It's melodic black metal, featuring elements you would expect from a black metal band, but also incorporates some melodic guitar elements. I'm going to mention the band I just talked about before, Iron Maiden, because they were my gateway to heavy metal, but I did hear a little bit of those melodic Iron Maiden style riffs in this album. So I think for that reason, I really like this one. I also found it a little bit easier to listen to, kind of making it a good gateway into black metal for someone who's not really into it. But I thought it was good. They have a lot of sound textures. It's well made. For that reason, I have it on this list. At number 6, I have CTIC Force with Midnight Assassin. The band that falls under the genre of blackened thrash. So for that reason, I have included them on this particular list. I discovered this band through Metal Never Dies with Mark Uada, and they're a band that's similar to another one that will be mentioned higher up on this list. Very good album, lots of influences from bands like Motorhead and Venom. Features black metal style vocals, and another good option for those who are into thrash metal but want to try something a little more extreme. I think it would be a good place to explore. There are lots of great songs. So for example, Speeding Black Leather Hell or Speeding Black Leather Hell. It's a really fun song. They also have Marked for Death. Has nothing to do with a Steven Seagal movie, but here's a clip of Steven Seagal because why not? Number 5 is Black Braid with Black Braid 2. This is a one-man black metal band. What makes it unique is that the man behind this album is Native American, so they categorized it as Native American black metal. The album garnered a lot of attention when it was released. It was featured in a New York Times article. The main theme of the article explored whether black metal was going mainstream. I'm including this on this list. It pretty much embodies everything you would expect from traditional black metal, and also incorporates a variety of acoustic instruments and wind instruments, kind of giving a distinct Native American flavor. I gave this one another listen, and it is very good. So I think it was because of the different acoustic instrumentals and the breakdowns with the handmade instruments. I think that helps make this or set it apart from the others. It was very diverse, so that kind of helps me really choose this and put this on this list because it has a lot of black metal elements like screaming and blast beats, but there's also a lot more going on, and it really made it stand out. So I have it listed here. It is a great album. At number 4, I have War Against All. This is one of the by Immortal. And they're one of the most influential black metal bands out there. They've been around a long time. They have a different vocalist than their other albums. And their original vocalist, his name is Abath. He went solo. And then the remaining original member is called Demonas. They're traditional black metal. They have the corpse paint makeup, everything you would expect. I enjoyed it because it incorporates lots of aspects of traditional heavy metal, blending with traditional black metal. It makes it a bit easier to listen to. It's a solid album. It's very cold. It's like a chilling type of wintry type of album. I gave it another listen, and all the songs hold up very well. So for that reason, I have it ranked right here. I think it still stands the test of time. I like the song War God. This one has cool galloping guitars and reminded me a little of traditional heavy metal. And then I like Return to Cold. That's more of classic black metal with some atmospheric sections. Overall, very good album. Number 3, I have Hell Ripper with Warlock Scream and Withered Hags. Another one-man blackened thrash metal band that came out in the beginning of the year. A lot of people gave it a lot of praise, so I know this one is going to appear on many top 10 lists. It's a great album. It's not traditional black metal. It's black metal mixed with thrash and speed metal, similar to CTIC Force, which I was just talking about. So there are a lot of good songs here. I like the song I the Deceiver. Reminded me of classic Metallica. It has those guitar riffs that brought back the sounds of Kill 'Em All, but in a black metal style. I also enjoyed the Cursed Carrion Crown. It reminded me of early Slayer with some melodic sections, and I like the last song, Mr. Store Worm, which was pretty cool. It had these Dark Throne style vocals and lots of atmospheric sounds and blast beats. Just really good album. I know a lot of people are going to be mentioning this in their end of the year list, so I have it up high. It's only number 3, but there's still 2 more that are better than this. And number 2, I have Enslaved with Heimdall. The band I've heard a lot of people talking about. I discovered them through Hammerheart Metal Reviews. They are progressive black metal. It's a good band to check out because they blend progressive rock with traditional black metal. So they've been around a long time. I haven't listened to all their albums, but other channels always say that this band has a solid discography. The album is based on Heimdall, a character from Norse mythology. It's very solid, and many different elements are going on. I like the song Behind the Mirror. This has like some sludgy Black Sabbath style guitars. Then the next song, Congelia, it's more traditional old school black metal. Then there's The Forest Dweller and The Eternal Sea. Those are more of the progressive types of songs with lots more atmospheric and like more ambient sounds mixed with the heavy black metal. Overall, solid album. I've listened to it many times over the past year. It came out fairly early in the year. It's just really great. I have it at number 2, but it's not my number 1. There was one album I thought was a little bit better. Some people might argue the next album doesn't belong on this list, but I'm putting it here, so get ready for my number 1. My number 1 is The Lion's Daughter with Bathhouse. I discovered them when I was starting my channel back in 2021. They released an album called Skin Show. I reviewed this on my channel. I was only about 6 or 7 months into my channel at that time, but this is a follow-up. It came out this year. They are a very unique band. I'm including it because the Metal Archives website categorizes at progressive / black into sludge metal. It's a broad term, but it includes the word black, so for that reason I have it here. They're unique. They blend horror movie elements. They incorporate creepy synth, often used in horror movies from the 80s. They mix up extreme metal, and it's just a great album. I like the first song, Bathhouse, really solid, lots of sludgy and post-metal aspects. I like Liminal Blue. It sounds like music from an 80s horror movie, as I mentioned earlier. And the last song, End Credits, that was a single. Really great song. It's dark, scary, and creepy with horror movie aspects. So that's all for now. Let me know some of your favorite black metal albums in the comments section. I know this was kind of basic because, as I mentioned, I'm fairly new to the genre, but if you're interested, here are the full reviews that I did of some of the bands that were mentioned. I'll put them right here. Please like this video. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe if you have not already. And please leave a comment. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more. I'll see you in the next video.